This is the summary of the third Harry Potter movie, The Prisoner of Azkaban. Chapter 1, Homing Owls. The book begins in the summer of 1993, when Harry is at his uncle's house. Hermione has sent him cleaning guides for her Nimbus 2000, for which Harry is very grateful. Ron has sent her a photo of him and his family in Egypt, having won a Daily Prophet contest and gone to visit Bill, the eldest son of the family. Pictured is his family, and his rat scabbers on his shoulder. The next day, Harry sees on the news that a fugitive has escaped from prison, named Sirius Black, although they don't mention where he escaped from. Harry learns from his uncle that his Aunt Marge will spend a week with them. Harry doesn't like her very much, since he always criticizes him for being a nuisance to her uncles. Harry asks his uncle to sign a school authorization for him to visit Hogsmeade. His uncle tells him that if he behaves with his aunt, he will sign the permission slip. A week passes and Harry has been able to put up with his aunt, although on the last night he begins to criticize his parents and Harry becomes very angry. By magic, his aunt inflates like a balloon and flies away, and Harry realizes that this was her magic. Harry decides to leave his uncle's house, claiming that he has been expelled from Hogwarts. When he least expected it, the night bus shows up, and they tell Harry that they can take him wherever he wants. Harry asks to go to the Leaky Cauldron. On the bus he learns that the fugitive he saw earlier on the news, Sirius Black, was an accomplice of Lord Voldemort, and that he killed 13 people, 1 wizard and 12 muggles, in a street. Harry, to avoid trouble, poses as Neville Longbottom. Arriving at his destination, the Minister for Magic, Cornelius Fudge, tells Harry that they were able to get his aunt back and modify his memory, and that when he finishes the course he will be able to return to his uncle's house. Although Harry doesn't like the idea, Fudge tells him that it is his only home and that he must live there. Until the holidays are over, Harry rents a room in the Leaky Cauldron. Chapter 2, Return to Hogwarts. In the Leaky Cauldron, Harry meets Ron and Hermione, his two best friends. Ron decides to buy something for Scabbers, his rat. When they were at the pet shop, Hermione buys a cat, Crookshanks, who immediately hates Scabbers. The night before returning to Hogwarts, Harry overhears an argument between Mr. and Mrs. Weasley. He hears them mention that Sirius Black is looking for Harry, apparently to kill him. The next day Mr. Weasley tells Harry about it and asks him not to go looking for Black. On the Hogwarts train, Harry, Ron and Hermione find a compartment where the new defense against the dark arts teacher, Remus Lupin, sleeps. As they head to Hogwarts, the train comes to a sudden stop and suddenly all the lights go out and freezing cold invades the compartment. Everyone suddenly feels joyless, devoid of life, terribly hopeless, and then a hideous wraith-like creature enters the compartment and approaches Harry, who feels weak and powerless. But then Lupin wake up and expel the creature from the compartment with a spell. Harry passes out hearing his mother's voice in his head. Waking up, Harry sees that Professor Lupin is giving everyone chocolate to restore their strength, and explains to Harry that this creature was a Dementor, the prison guards of Azkaban, who absorb hope, joy and warmth with his mere presence. Arriving at his destination, the Minister for Magic, Cornelius Fudge, tells Harry that they were able to get his aunt back and modify his memory, and that when he finishes the course he will be able to return to his uncle's house. Although Harry doesn't like the idea, Fudge tells him that it is his only home and that he must live there. Until the holidays are over, Harry rents a room in the Leaky Cauldron. Chapter 3, Arrival at Hogwarts. Arriving at Hogwarts, Albus Dumbledore announces to the students that Dementors will guard each entrance, keeping an eye on Sirius Black. He also announces that they will have 2 new teachers. Remus Lupin would be their new defense against the dark arts teacher, and Hagrid would be their care of magical creatures teacher. Harry and Ron still have the same subjects as last year plus care of magical creatures and divination, but Hermione has decided to take as many as she can. In her new class, Divination, Professor Trelawney tells Harry that she has seen the Grim in her cup, and that it is a sign of death. Hermione thinks her class is a waste of time. The first class with Hagrid is a disaster. Buckbeak, a hippogriff, injures Draco Malfoy. Malfoy threatens him saying that this would have repercussions in the future. They then have their first class with Lupin, who teaches them how to take on a boggart. Chapter 4, The Keeper of the Secret. One day, the class is surprised to see Severus Snape taking Lupin's place, because according to him Remus has become ill. He makes them study about werewolves and recognize them, differentiating them from animagi, wizards capable of transforming into animals. The first Quidditch match arrives, against Hufflepuff. Dementors attack the stadium and Harry passes out and is knocked unconscious. Dumbledore saves him, but his broomstick goes flying into the Whomping Willow and is destroyed. Lupin promises him that he will help him fight the Dementors. When the next visitor to Hogsmeade arrives, Fred and George Weasley present Harry with the Marauders Map, which accurately shows Hogwarts and its secret passages. According to the map, it was created by 4 people, nicknamed Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Antlers. Harry arrives at Hogsmeade, where he meets up with Ron and Hermione. The 3 listen hidden behind a Christmas tree in the 3 broomsticks, which was moved right in front of them by means of the Mobiliarbo spell that Hermione executed, to Fugda with Professor McGonagall, Hagrid, Madame Rosmerta, and Professor Flitwick. They say that Sirius Black was James Potter's best friend and that in Voldemort's time, James, Lily and Harry, who was 1 year old, hid. The only person who knew his location was Sirius Black, as he was his secret keeper. This gave the information to Voldemort and he went in search of the Potters and killed them, but could not kill Harry. They then say that Sirius Black killed Peter Pettigrew, leaving only a finger of him and that he was Harry's godfather. At Christmas, Harry is anonymously given a firebolt. Hagrid, however, is sad that Buckbeak the Hippogriff will be sentenced. Hermione believes that the firebolt was sent by Sirius Black and has it examined. Because of this, Ron stops talking to him. The term starts again, with Harry's anti-Dementor classes. Lupin teaches him how to do it. The enchantment is the Patronus, very advanced magic. His progress is slow, but he can learn it. Ron finds his rat, Scabbers, missing, with traces of blood on it, and blames it on Crookshanks. In the next match, against Ravenclaw, the Dementors attack the stadium. Harry's Patronus is too strong and he scares them away, but he later learns that it was Draco Malfoy, Vincent Crabbe, Gregory Goyle and Marcus Flint in disguise. That night, Ron wakes up to see Sirius Black with a knife in front of him. Ron screams and Black runs away. Black was able to get into Gryffindor Tower by using passwords written by Neville Longbottom on a piece of paper. On the next visit to Hogsmeade, Harry goes again thanks to the Marauders Map. With Ron, he visits the Shrieking Shack, a local haunted house. Malfoy can see it and tells Snape. Snape interrogates Harry and discovers the Marauders Map. He forces the map to reveal his secrets, and the 4 creators, Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Antlers, insult him in writing. Snape calls Lupin and asks him to examine the scroll. Lupin says that it's just a piece of paper that insults whoever tries to read it, and that it doesn't do any harm. However, he privately tells Harry that he knows it's a map, and that the creators probably wanted him to run away from school. He tells her that he met the creators and confiscates the map. The night before the game against Slytherin, Harry sees Crookshanks with the big black dog he saw on vacation, the Grim. The game is won by Gryffindor, although he had to catch the snitch after some time because they needed several points to win the Quidditch Cup. Buckbeak's appeal is set for the last day of examinations. Harry's latest is divination, and he lies to Professor Trelawney that he saw Buckbeak free in the crystal ball. As he leaves, Harry hears Professor Trelawney speaking in a voice very different from his own, and she predicts that Voldemort's vassal will return and join his master. The Lord of Darkness is alone and friendless. His vassal has been in chains for 12 years. Today, before midnight, his vassal will break free and go to his master. His master will rise again, stronger and more powerful than ever. Today, before midnight, his vassal will go to meet his master. Prediction, source. When the teacher comes to, Harry questions her about what she said, and the teacher says that she doesn't remember and that she must have fallen asleep. When Harry meets with Hermione, she tells him that Buckbeak has lost and that he will be executed that afternoon. Harry insists that he must go see Hagrid to talk about it. Chapter 5, Lunatic, Wormtail, Padfoot and Antlers. Ron, Hermione and Harry, wearing the invisibility cloak, go to visit Hagrid, who tells them they shouldn't have gone. He says that Buckbeak is in the pumpkin patch, as he wanted him to breathe some fresh air before he died. Hermione finds Scabbers in Hagrid's hut, when McNair the Executioner arrives with Fudge and Dumbledore. The 3 friends run away. Running away, Scabbers, Ron's rat, escapes and heads for the Whomping Willow. Crookshanks shows up and tries to take Scabbers away, but Ron is able to catch her. Suddenly, the big black dog appears and grabs Ron, leading him towards the Whomping Willow. Crookshanks climbs up the tree and hits a knot in his trunk, causing the tree to stop moving. The Grim, dragging Ron along, dives between the roots of the tree and disappears. Harry and Hermione follow him, and find themselves in an underground tunnel. Coming out the other side, they are in the Shrieking Shack. They hear Ron in a room and ask him about the dog. Ron tells them that he's not a dog, he's an animagus. When Harry sees Sirius Black is in front of him, suddenly, Lupin arrives and asks Black where he is. Black points at Ron, and the three friends get confused. Lupin hugs Black and accuses him of helping him into the castle. Hermione reveals that Lupin is a werewolf. Lupin tells them that it is true, and that he knew they were there because he saw them on the Marauders Map. He knows how to use it, since he was one of those who made it. He says that he is the lunatic the map mentions. His name is from his animal form, since he is a werewolf, he comes from Luna. Lupin and Black say that Pettigrew, the person who supposedly killed Sirius, is Scabbers. Hermione says it's impossible, as animagi are registered with the Ministry of Magic, but Lupin says that there were 3 illegal animagi at Hogwarts, Sirius Black, James Potter, and Peter Pettigrew. The 3 of them became animagi to accompany Lupin in his transformations. Suddenly, Snape walks in with Harry's cloak, and tells Black that he will send him to the Dementors along with Lupin, who he had administered the potion to prevent him from turning into a werewolf, however, for helping Black to become a werewolf. Entering the castle will send you to Azkaban as well. Harry attacks Snape to keep listening to Lupin. Black says that he did not kill Pettigrew, but wanted to kill him, as he gave Harry's parents to Voldemort. Harry says that's not true, as Black was the keeper of the Potter's secret. Black says that this is false, that he was Pettigrew. They made him keeper of the secret because it was very obvious that it was going to be Black. However, Pettigrew turned them over. Lupin says that Pettigrew is the Wormtail who created the map, Sirius is Padfoot and James is Antlers. That Pettigrew's finger was cut off by himself to fake his death and then turned into a rat. Everyone then pointed at Sirius. Sirius explains that he knows that he is Pettigrew since he saw him in the photo that he dated Ron in the newspaper, so he recognized him and turned into a dog. He fled from Azkaban. He then met and befriended Crookshanks, and made him understand that he wanted Scabbers, but since he couldn't catch him, Sirius had to do it himself. Sirius says that he has come to take revenge on Pettigrew, for giving James and Lily Potter, his good friends, to Voldemort, and for giving him 12 years in prison. They force Scabbers to transform and Pettigrew appears, forcibly admitting to having been a spy for Voldemort. Then they all leave the Whomping Willow, when at that moment the full moon appears. Lupin transforms into a werewolf, as he has not taken the potion from him. Sirius transforms into a dog and attacks him to defend the others, and then Pettigrew escapes in animal form. When the fight ends, Sirius is left injured, and heads to the lake. Harry follows to help him, when several Dementors attack them, nearly killing them. Before Harry loses his strength, he sees someone casting a Patronus across the lake, saving them. Harry then passes out. Chapter 6, Hermione's Secret. When Harry wakes up, he is in the hospital wing, with Hermione and Ron. Harry says that he has seen his father cast a Patronus. Hermione tells him that no one believes them about Sirius's innocence, as Snape has said that Sirius put a very powerful Confundus charm on them. Albus Dumbledore enters and is told that he must free Sirius, before he is given the Dementor's kiss, which removes the soul from the body. Dumbledore says that he believes them, but that they need more time. He says that they can save more than one innocent life, and then leaves. Hermione then pulls out a time turner and joins Harry. She spins it around 3 times and they travel back in time, to 3 hours ago. Hermione explains that she used that artifact all year to attend all of her classes, and now they must save Sirius. Harry and Hermione are able to save Buckbeak, freeing him before he is killed. They then head to the Forbidden Forest and Harry finds himself attacked by Dementors. As he waits for his father to show up, he realizes that no one is coming, so he saves himself, creating a powerful Patronus. He then makes his way to where Sirius is imprisoned and frees him, leaving him free with Buckbeak, who flies him away. The next day, Harry learns that Snape told everyone that Lupin was a werewolf, and that he had to resign. Harry goes to see him and he returns the map along with his cloak. Dumbledore enters the room and says goodbye. Harry tells him that it was all for nothing, since Pettigrew got away. Dumbledore tells him that Peter owes him his life, and that in the future that will come in handy. Harry then tells him about Professor Trelawney's prediction, and Dumbledore says that it is a true prediction, being the second from his life. On the Hogwarts Express, back home, Harry receives a letter from Sirius telling him that he was the one who sent him the firebolt. He also sends her permission to visit Hogsmeade. and the owl that he sends him he gives to Ron. At the station, the uncle sees the letter and tells him that he will not sign the permit. Harry tells him it's not a leave of absence, it's a letter from his godfather who, to Harry's surprise, was the delinquent that had been on the Muggle news the previous summer. His uncle freaks out, and Harry is pleased by his expression, hoping for a better summer than last.